Hi guys, now today I want to talk to you about how we're going to be making a pizza using the bread machine, the pizza dough. Okay, so now let me show you how you do this. So we've got our bread machine already set up, and I gotta take off my scarf and stuff. I've been rushed today doing everything here, trying to get things going here so I don't get delayed. Okay, so anyway, now when we did this, we used to do this, my husband and I, we used to do this. This was a really fun time to do with the residents because they loved it. We did it during the weekdays because on Friday and Saturday night, they were gone. They would go down to a center and they would hang out with all their friends and stuff. And so, this was the best time to do it was during the weekday. We would have a couple nights a week that one night we would do pizza and the other night would be a kind of a game night thing. Remember I forget now what the name you call that thing. I don't know why I want to say 360, but I don't think it was 360. But they used to have about maybe 15 years ago where you bought this thing and you attached it to your TV and you could do bowling and you could do golf and you could do dancing and stuff, and you had to buy the little disc thing. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, but when you get my age you forget things slip your mind and stuff. But anyway, we would play that one night was the game night. Oh, they loved the boxing. They would, because they could practice their hitting and stuff like that. And they would really get into the dogs and jump up and bark because they thought it was funny, the things. And they were just really, really into this. I mean, they just loved that. But now we're going to do the pizza. And so they got involved with the pizza. Because my guys, in those days, we lived in a big home. And our front part of our kitchen was so large that it had a bar, like a kind that you would have like in a bar. I mean, it was like a 14-foot bar, and it was almost as wide as this table here. The thing was just huge, and so we could do all kinds. We could do crafts, we could do cooking, we could do anything we wanted to, or I could do paperwork and stuff. It was kind of the hub of the house to do everything. So now let's do the bread dough. So now the first thing you want to do on the bread dough is you're going to use 1 1/3 cup of warm water. So you make sure that your little pedal's in there. Okay, and then you're going to use 4 cups of bread flour. And then you're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt, and I like to put the salt over in one corner. And you're going to use 2 tablespoons I used olive oil, but you can use cooking oil. And you put that over another corner of the pan. Then you're going to use 1 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, but you're going to make your little well in the middle. And you're going to drop your yeast in there. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. It's just that easy. Then you're going to come over here and you're going to put it in your bread pan. Okay, let's make sure it's good. Because sometimes, when you pull the bread pan out, it doesn't snap. You have to reset it. Okay, well, now you guys get an education on how this works. Okay, so what I do sometimes is I roll that blade around to accommodate where the slot's at. Okay, there it snapped in place. Okay, so now at this point, I plug it up. And I'm gonna go to number 7 on my machine, which is dough. Okay, and then I'm just gonna press start. And it's going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes. But in the length of time that I would do that, what I would do, because I knew we were going to be doing pizzas that night with bingo. So what I would do is I would make the pizza dough up early, okay? Now, if you've got older kids and you want to teach them something like this, you could teach your kids to make the dough and make the pizzas like A 12-year-old should have no problem. I would say even a 9-year-old would have no problem doing this and putting this machine and then start, getting the little bows ready. So what I did is I would use like a little small bow or even a plate sometimes. And I would have chopped up ham, pineapples, onions, mushrooms, tomatoes, whatever I thought that you might like on pizza. Maybe if I had some artichokes, then I would chop them up and then maybe put some artichokes. Then I had a different assortment of cheeses: feta cheese, white cheese, cheddar cheese, whatever cheese that I had available. And I tried to use a lot of stuff so that they really got interesting to taste and textures and things, and so they learned to like it. All right. So then once this bread machine finished within an hour and 30 minutes, it comes out. So now I've done 2 of them today. I probably might even do another dough today. Okay. So now you're going to lift up the lid. I'm going to pull it out. Let me get the camera close enough. And it's going to look like this. It's already ready to go. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to punch it. If I was making it and not sending it to my daughter's place, then I would just pull it out of the machine. That's what I'm going to do now. But if you was making it and you want to use it now, then you would punch it down, you would cover it, and you would let it sit for 10 minutes and rest, okay? Don't let it rise if you are doing a thin crust. You don't let it rise. Then you would bring it out after 10 minutes, okay? And then you would roll the dough out, okay, on a little lightly floured countertop. And I usually use the pastry thing. And kids can do that too. Or your parents, if you have elderly parents and stuff, it gets them into the kitchen and it makes them feel like they're home and they're part of the family. In our case, our residents, they did a lot of things because it made them feel like they belonged to a home, that this was their home, because we loved them and we wanted them to feel that they were loved and that they had a home. Everybody deserves to have a home, really, and to be loved. Okay, so now I'm going to take it and it's going to be kind of spongy like, So I'm just going to pull it out of the pan. Now there's enough dough here with this to make 2 pizzas. Now I should have put some olive oil on my hands. That's okay. So, I got my blade. And be careful not to freeze your blade if you freeze it. Now if you decide that you want to freeze this dough, then you can freeze it up to 3 months. But now once after you freeze the dough, okay, and you want to bring it out and you want to use it, you need about 2 to 2.5 hours room temperature for it to come to life, that, okay, so now, it's ready, okay? Now, or you can leave it overnight in your refrigerator. All right. Now, see? And then you just do like that. You bag it. So you would freeze it or put it in your refrigerator if you're going to use it like right away. In my case, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. And then once I get the 3 bags of dough ready for her, then I will just pull them out of the refrigerator and take them over to her. I'm going to do one little small pizza out of the dough, and I'm going to do it in a Mexican pizza. And what I'm going to be doing is I have some taco meat left over, so I'm going to use my taco meat, but instead of using a pizza sauce, I'm going to use a salsa sauce, like just salsa, like the jar of salsa. I'm going to put some of that down, put the taco meat on top of that, and then I'm going to add some Monterey Jack cheese. And that's what I'm going to do for a pizza. And you can make all kinds of things. It's a great way. It's a good meal. It's very reasonably priced, you know, for your pocketbook. And you can clean up your refrigerator with a lot of things that you just need to use up. Like you got a little bit of tacos, you got maybe a little bit of meat, stuff. You could do even carne asada pizza, you know, like a little bit of leftover meat and stuff. You can just be very creative. You got chicken, like if you got a little bit of the chicken that you cut up all the roasted chicken that you got from maybe Costco or on sale, then you bring out the chicken, defrost it, and you put some chicken. You can use white sauce. You can use pesto sauce. Pesto, you can get it from Costco, really nice, you know, and if you don't use that much pesto, then you can buy the smaller ones from like Winco and stuff. It's whatever you want. Now, for the pasta sauce, I usually just use one of these type of things because they're cheap. And I add some Italian seasoning, some garlic, and stir it all up, a little bit of salt, you know, to make sure that it's tasty. And then that's what I would use for pizza sauce. Okay, and so that's what I would do for the pizza sauce. Now for the white sauce, I'm not sure if I forgot to look, but I think maybe that we did chicken Alfredo before, and so you would just make one of that type of for the white sauce. It's very easy to do. Okay, so don't be intimidated by this, because think of how much money you're going to save. Now I guarantee you. Now you see, this is how much pizza. These will make 2 thin crust 13 to 14 inch size pizza. We're talking 2 of these. Okay, that's a 12 inch, but it'll make 2 of those thin. Or it will make 1 13 by 9 big thick crust. Now, when you're gonna do the thin crust, what you would do is once the dough is finished, then at that point, you would roll it out and you would put it in the pan, okay? You would divide it up into 2 because it will make 2. Okay, then you would roll it out, okay? You make sure that the pizza pan is a little bit oily, and you can put a little bit of cornmeal if you want, but I usually don't. And so then at that point, you take a fork and you're gonna stick the bread, the dough, and you're gonna stick it, all right? You're gonna put it inside the oven on a 425 temperature oven. And you're gonna bake it for about 10 minutes, just till it's lightly brown and it's set. Then you bring it out, and that's when you would let your family or your children decide what toppings they want. If they want a white sauce, then you put white sauce. If they want to put ham on the white sauce, it's theirs. It's the one time they get to make up their own mind. And for me, I felt like that's very important, because when you're handicapped, mostly you don't make any decisions. This is the one time they can make their own decision, because they get to choose what they want. Your children can choose what they want, and I think it's good to let them make decisions. Okay, and then you're going to put it back in the oven, and you're going to bake it until your cheese is, you know, like golden, and that would be your thin crust. Now with the thicker crust, you're not going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to do a little different. You're going to roll it out, and you're going to make it and make sure that you got like an edge to hold it in place. And then you're going to wait about 30 to 40 minutes to let it rise up again. And then you're going to put it in the oven, and you're going to bake it, okay, until it's lightly golden. But you're going to put it on a 375 for the thick crust until it's lightly golden. And you bring it out, and then you let them decide what they want to put on it. Now, in my case, what we did, we used these, like these little mini personal pan pizza things. And that's what they got when I bring them out of the oven, and they're like a little bit cool, so they could pick them up with their little mittens. Then they could decide what they wanted to put on it. The same thing with kids, okay? Then you put it back in the oven. Now, just because with my residents, they can get a little messy sometimes, and so things might fall. I played it safe and put a cookie sheet, and then I put this on top of the cookie sheet, so it kept the oven floor clean. So I don't like to keep cleaning up the oven and stuff. Okay, and so I can put quite a few of these little individual, because I had 2 racks. And I can put, you want 2 racks, don't try to put 3 because then it's just gonna kind of steam the pizza. You want it to really actually, cook the pizza. So I use the 2 racks and I can put quite a few of those. I can put all the residents' pizzas in there. So once they are in the oven on the last time, at that point, that's when my husband would bring them to the dining room and they would have their salad and their breadsticks. Now, you can also make breadsticks from this same dough. You would just roll it out and roll them up like little sticks, okay? Not thin sticks, but like what Olive Garden has. And then you brush them with butter and a little olive oil. You could put a little bit of garlic in the olive oil and butter, and you brush it, and then you throw a little bit of Parmesan cheese and put it in the oven, okay? And so when they're having their like Caesar salad and their breadsticks and their pop, because they love pop, so they would have that. Then once they finish at that, we cleaned that off and we brought out the pizza, and they had their pizza. And then after they had the pizza, now they're like content because they're not hungry. They're stuffed at this point. That's when we would play bingo. And bingo is another great thing for children because, it teaches them how to read the letters and how to do the numbers and how to watch what role it has to go if they're lined up this way, that way. It teaches them to, to concentrate. And it's great, fun for the kids. And for a family night, okay, so then they would sit down and we would play the bingo. Now, with the bingo, it made it really easy for me because what I would do is I would go like the day before and I would go to the dollar store and I would get little prizes, little dollar prizes. And maybe it might be a notebook. It might be a fancy, funny looking pencil or a pen or whatever. Or it might be something that was in style, that they wanted. Because they had very limited money, right? Okay, so unless they had parents, but some of them, not all of them has parents. Some of them passed away already, or they moved away or whatever, or they gave them up, as children because it was too much of with the health issues and stuff that they couldn't handle it. Whatever reason, so sometimes they don't have a lot of money. So I'd get these presents from the dollar store and stuff, and then we would have them all sitting on the table, after we cleared off all the food and stuff, and my husband would start packing everything away and all and clean the dishes up, and then I would start the bingo game. So they could look and see the table was full of prizes from the dollar store. So, ooh, they're getting excited. And so then we would play bingo. But now I had the advantage because I knew how to make it. I knew how to rig the game where everybody was a bingo winner. And they loved to call, bingo! And it was fun night. I love bingo. It was fun. Bingo night. And then of course when we played the other game, we had maybe lasagna that night or something else that night, and then we played those games. That game was exhausting. Boy, it was exhausting. Like just to do the boxing and stuff, you had to move your arms, or when you're doing the bowling. I mean, that told you what your score was. It was a lot of fun. So that's what you can do when you do pizzas and you do family dinners. That's how you can entertain your smaller children without going out, to the bowling alley, because it costs a lot of money to go to the bowling alley. And then to buy the pizza, go to the restaurant and sit down and have a pizza. A family of 4, I'll tell you, my husband and I, we usually do not go out to eat. 2 reasons why. Number 1, it's really expensive for our pocketbook, and we have to watch every penny because we never know what tomorrow might happen, what kind of health issue we might have pop up, or what other expense we might have. And then with that, and then the other reason is because of my health issues, I can't have the sodium. Well, let me tell you, with the restaurant food, you're going to have the sodium. You're going to have the sodium, and I can't do that. So I just got to watch that. So that's 2 reasons why we don't eat out. If we eat out, it's rare, but if we do eat out, we go out for fine dining. Oh, yeah, fine dining, and that is Caesar's pizza, which is like, that lunch thing where they have 4 slices of pizza and you get a pop. He gets a pop because I don't drink pop, but he gets a pop. I get the water, and I make like a little small salad. Sometimes we don't have a salad, but he gets 2 pieces of pizza, and I get 2 pieces of pizza for $5.99, and that's it. Hey, the last time we went out for Mexican food, it was just him and I. It cost us $52 with the food, the tax, and the tip. No, 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 no. We can't do that. No, so I'm telling you, this is a good family activity. You'll have lots of fun, and you can be with your family and teach the kids. You know, it's a good way for them to have patience, waiting for things and reading the bingo thank cards and stuff. And the ones that are little, you would probably set them near you, but you want them to be able to do it too. Tell them to watch. Oh, we're saying B3, so look for the B and look for the 3, and then to line them up. It really gets them thinking, so it's good for them. All right, so now that's what you would do. And you know how to make the dough, you know how to put it in the bag, and you label it. It can only stay for 3 months. So I don't think there's really anything else that I forgot to tell. You know how to do the sauce. So I think that's it. So there you go. So you guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will plan in the future to have some fun with your family. You know, even invite mom and dad over. You know, mom and dad loves to play bingo. I like to play bingo. And so it's a great way to have your family fun, you know, or maybe on a Sunday night or after church, or maybe during the weekday when there's no homework and you got some time. And you can actually the day before make all these little things. If you have like the Tupperware things, or even if you don't have Tupperware and you have just those little lunch meat containers, you know, with the lid and stuff, you can chop up all your stuff and you can put it in there. You could even open up a can of corn. My guys like corn on their pizza too. They loved everything. I think they like the fact that they could choose and they could pile it up as high as they want. Now just remember that when you pile it up really high like that, sometimes it takes a little longer to cook it. But that's okay. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please, I would really appreciate it if you did. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon.